The story of China's urban transformation is one of the most astonishing narratives in modern history. Among its most striking examples is Shenzhen, a city that, within just a few decades, evolved from an unremarkable fishing village into a sprawling, futuristic metropolis. Located on the southern coast near Hong Kong, Shenzhen became the experimental ground for economic reform when it was named a special economic zone in 1980. This wasn't just a label, it was an invitation to the world, a bold signal that China was ready to open its doors to foreign investment and market-driven policies. But Shenzhen's story began in humble surroundings. In the 1970s, the area was home to around 30,000 people, most of whom depended on fishing and small-scale farming. Villagers went about their simple routines, and life moved at a relaxed pace that echoed the natural rhythms of the South China Sea. Then came the policy shifts of the late 1970s. China's leader, Deng Xiaoping, was championing a movement that would open China to the world and bring new opportunities for prosperity to its people. This decision laid the groundwork for Shenzhen's transformation and eventually the country's path to modernization. When Shenzhen was declared an SEZ in 1980, it was granted unprecedented privileges that made it a unique test case for market reforms. The SEZ designation meant tax breaks, lenient regulations, and incentives for companies that were willing to invest. These incentives, along with Shenzhen's proximity to Hong Kong, created the perfect recipe for economic growth. Investors poured in, factories sprang up overnight, and the quiet fishing village suddenly found itself at the heart of China's economic experiment. In the blink of an eye, it seemed, Shenzhen was expanding at an unimaginable rate. The city's population exploded as millions of workers from across China came in search of jobs and better lives. By the mid-1990s, Shenzhen had grown to over 3 million residents, and by the 2010s, this number had ballooned to more than 10 million. High-rise buildings dominated the skyline, and new infrastructure projects connected every corner of the city, making Shenzhen's rapid growth seem almost surreal. The scale and speed of development made Shenzhen look like it had skipped decades of urban evolution in a few short years. Yet with this massive growth came an array of challenges. The demand for housing soared, with developers racing to keep up with the influx of new residents. Schools, hospitals, and public services strained under the pressure of a swelling population. The city was evolving so quickly that it sometimes seemed to struggle with keeping up with itself. But through these growing pains, Shenzhen continued to transform, shifting its economy from manufacturing to high technology and innovation. By the early 2000s, Shenzhen's economic landscape had begun to change again. Once known for its factories and assembly lines, the city was now home to cutting-edge tech companies like Huawei, Tencent, and BYD. These companies helped Shenzhen transform into a high-tech capital, driving innovation in electronics, telecommunications, and even electric vehicles. The city's reputation as a hub of technological development soon earned it the nickname Silicon Valley of the East. Talented individuals from across China flocked to Shenzhen, drawn by the opportunity to work in a city that had become synonymous with innovation. Shenzhen's rise was dazzling, but it wasn't without consequences. The influx of migrant workers created a large population of floating residents who often lacked access to social services and faced job insecurity. Environmental concerns also surfaced, as the city's rapid construction boom led to pollution and a loss of green spaces. However, in response to these challenges, Shenzhen started implementing policies aimed at creating a more sustainable urban environment. Initiatives included stricter regulations on emissions, investment in green spaces, and an extensive bike-sharing system. Today, Shenzhen is recognized as one of China's greenest cities, known for its electric buses and well-maintained urban parks. The human stories behind Shenzhen's growth add another layer to the city's narrative. Many of those who moved to Shenzhen came from rural areas, leaving traditional lifestyles behind in search of stability and opportunity. Each individual brought unique skills, dreams, and a willingness to adapt to the rapidly changing city. Shenzhen's workforce now includes a vibrant mix of professionals, laborers, and entrepreneurs, all of whom contribute to the city's dynamic character. This sense of possibility and optimism permeates the city's culture, as Shenzhen continues to attract people who are ready to shape the future. Today, Shenzhen stands as a bustling metropolis of over 17 million people, a symbol of China's economic miracle and a model for modern urban development. Its success has inspired similar development strategies in other Chinese cities, offering a blueprint for rapid, managed urbanization. Shenzhen's story, from fishing village to megacity, isn't just an economic success story. It's a narrative about human ambition, adaptability, and resilience. As China continues to develop, Shenzhen serves as both a beacon of progress and a reminder of the challenges and opportunities that come with rapid urban growth. Shenzhen's journey encapsulates the triumphs and trials of modern China, reflecting the nation's journey from a rural, agrarian society to a global powerhouse. This is a city that evolved through visionary policies, relentless investment, and the hard work of millions who saw opportunity and seized it. For other cities in China and beyond, Shenzhen's story serves as both an inspiration and a roadmap, one that shows what's possible when ambition meets opportunity and when the spirit of innovation is allowed to flourish.